Hi, I'm Todd Rushing from Stavis Seafoods, and tonight we're going to talk about scallops. We're going to talk about the difference between a dry scallop and a soaked scallop. Why it's always better to buy a dry scallop, and what exactly is a dry scallop, and what's the difference between that and a soaked scallop. So I bought two types of scallops. I've got scallops from Stavis Seafoods, which are completely dry, and I got another scallop that I bought from the local supermarket, which was supposed to be a grade A scallop, a premium scallop that I paid $30 a pound for. So let's cook them up and see the difference between a truly dry scallop and explain why a scallop would be dry and a soaked scallop. So as you can see here, I bought two different types of scallops. This one right here, I bought from the local supermarket, and it was supposed to be a grade A scallop. I paid about $30 a pound. And this one I know is got to be soaked product versus the Stavis Seafood scallop, which is a nice dry scallop. Now, how can you tell the difference between the two? Is that a nice dry scallop has a nice sticky, they're kind of sticky. They're like sticking together, and versus the soaked ones, which are a little bit slimy, and you can see that they got a bit of milky residue on the bottom. That's how I knew that these scallops were soaked when I bought them. Now you may ask, why would I want to buy a dry scallop? Scallops are supposed to be moist and tender. Well, a dry scallop is an expression that we use in the seafood industry to designate or denote that it doesn't have much water or much chemical used in it. So a scallop is mostly water. Like the human body contains about 78% water, a scallop contains about 83%. A true dry scallop contains about 83% water. Anything that is soaked will contain a lot more water, 84, 85, 86% water. And so when we're trading or buying scallops, we always ask, what is the drip loss, or what is the water content? And we grade them out by a dry being 83%, and a more soaked product would have a higher percentage of water. Scallops are very absorbent, and they have the ability to absorb a lot of water. So there's a lot of abuse involved with scallops, in which someone can soak the product in some kind of chemical like a sodium tripolyphosphate. Phosphates are used to retain water. A phosphate is in essence, it's almost like a detergent. If you ever look at a shampoo bottle, you look at the ingredients on the back, it says contains phosphates. Well, that's pretty much the same thing that's going in some of these processed scallops. So some people put in a little bit of sodium tripolyphosphate in the scallops so it can retain the water, and in essence, they're defrauding the customer. They're selling you more water. That's what they're doing to bring the cost down. At Stavis Seafoods, we don't use phosphates in our scallop. It's a nice dry scallop. It's about 83% moisture content in our scallops. So we're going to heat up my pan with a little bit of grapeseed oil. I like using grapeseed oil because it doesn't smoke as much as olive oil, but olive oil works fine. Anyways, on the right-hand side, I have my store-bought soaked scallops, and then these are the Stavis nice and dry scallops. So let's cook them up together and see how they perform. So I'm going to cook on the right side of the pan the store-bought soaked scallops, and on the left side I'm going to do the Stavis scallops. So just put them in. This side soaked, this side Stavis. See, like seasoning with a little bit of sea salt and crushed pepper. That's it. So these are the Stavis on the left, and these are the other ones. They're nice scallops, actually. They have a nice brown sear to them, which is good. It means it's got a lot of sugar in it. So you want them to sear like that. Well, that's actually a nice sear. A little more salt and my pepper. A nice brown caramelization. Even these had a nice caramelization to them, so they weren't that bad. It's actually a pretty good scallop. In the meantime, I'm going to make a nice arugula salad. And that's it. I think they're done. Just a few minutes. Yeah, these are all done. And let's see the difference between the two. So this is the store-bought, and these are the Stavis ones. And let's see the difference between the two. Yeah, nice. I like a nice translucent inside like that. I don't think anything darker than that would be overcooked. Both of them came out great. And let's test them. Okay. First I'm going to have the soaked one. Good. It's not bad at all. And I have the dry one. Not bad. The dry ones are much better. I wouldn't be able to really tell the difference unless I put them side by side. But the soaked ones, and it was a good one. I mean, it was probably a lightly soaked product. Actually, wasn't that bad. And if I had those without comparing it with the Stavis dry scallop, I would say that it was a pretty darn good scallop. But when I compare them against the Stavis dry ones, man, what a difference these Stavis scallops are. Fantastic. So I plated them on some arugula salad. Simple, easy meal. Took 7 minutes. Bon appetit.